Y'all, I was sent this Reddit thread. It's a long one. You'll probably get the gist within the first two or three paragraphs. So if you have a short attention span, just listen to the first part. You'll understand what's going on. This woman who is 30 has a husband that is 31, and she is asking for some relationship advice. Okay, so this is what she says. I accidentally dropped my husband's food, and he's still mad at me, and I don't know how to calm him down. My husband and I went to dinner and we were having a lovely time. We didn't have our phones out. We had a lovely conversation there and on the way home. But when we got home, I accidentally dropped his leftovers. He was driving, so I had my purse and his box in my hands, and I was trying to place it on the porch to reorganize myself. And the box fell out onto the steps, but only a little bit of food fell out, so I thought it was fine. He flipped out and says, "Why would you do that? Like accidents don't exist." And I apologized profusely. I'm sorry. I said, only a little bit fell out. You only lost a little bit. It's okay. I'll put it in the fridge. And he says, no, it all fell out. It's all ruined. And she says, no, just this bit hit the ground that's on the steps. And this part's sticking out here. It was chilly. So I start to brush off the chili sticking on my hand just to knock it off the container. He says, just throw it out. She said, it's fine. He says, throw it out. I'm not going to eat it. It's not my money. It's my money. I can do what I want. She says, actually, dear reader, it was my money. I paid for the dinner tonight, and I'm currently unemployed. When he gets mad like this, he stays mad for hours. I tried to calm him down. She says, I'm really sorry. He says, apologies don't matter. She says, what can I do to make things better? He says, nothing. Just leave me alone. So I avoided him for hours. I watered my plants, worked on my homework. Just now he was going to bed. It's 5 hours later, and he says, I'm hungry. I have nothing to eat. She says, you can eat my leftovers from earlier. He says, I don't want your leftovers. She says, I'll go to Wendy's and get you more chili. I was thinking about doing that anyway. He says, I open tomorrow. I can't wait for you. She says, I can go to the corner store to get you some chips or a frozen dinner. He says, I'll just go to bed hungry. She says, I've learned not to fight him when he gets mad because whenever I try to criticize his actions, he blames me for spinning the blame back onto him and making it his fault. I grew up in a family where no one ever apologized, and I hated it. He and I used to fight a lot in the beginning, and I learned quickly that I also had a problem with apologizing. I learned that you can apologize for hurting someone's feelings or reacting how you did. Apologizing isn't reserved for whoever is wrong in that situation. I really think I got better, but sometimes I think maybe I went to the other extreme because I'll apologize, and nothing ever makes it better. I'll grovel and beg for him to forgive me, but he gets so pouty and angry, and I get frustrated. Like it's been hours. Usually I let him stew overnight. He goes to work angry. It will take a full 24 hours for him to apologize for how he reacted. But when I do something wrong, I don't get to mull it over for an entire day because he'll be all pouty that I got angry at him. And again, I'll have to grovel and beg for him to forgive me because I hurt his feelings. Y'all, this is the reason why how you are raised, your childhood, your foundation, and how you speak, it goes into your relationships. She said her family never apologized. And because of that, she probably became a people pleaser. Because y'all, just listening to this, I'm exhausted for her. This is bad. So she's groveling and begging, and he's just like acting like a little kid. This is crazy. Okay, she says, but I was so frustrated. She said, you know what? You are so goddamn stubborn. I told you not all the chili fell out. You told me to throw it away. But if you had just let me put it in the fridge, you would have had something to eat. So then he says, great. So it's my fault again. She says, I don't even remember what was said after that. It's a blur. I think I said a few more sentences and walked away. I think I tried to say it was no one's fault. It was an accident. I just know he said something about him not wanting to hear any excuses. And I said, excuses? It was an accident. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say anymore, but I'm so tired of this cycle. He's just wandered into the kitchen and I hear him sniffling, which means it's time for me to grovel and beg for forgiveness because I hurt his feelings. I don't know how to prevent these outbursts. What do I do? How do I deal with this? His love language is physical touch, but he doesn't want to be touched when he's mad. Then he gets pouty and sometimes he wants a hug. Sometimes he doesn't. I went in to ask if he wanted me to get him something to eat and he just says, I just want to die. I said, I'm sorry for dropping your chili. I'm sorry you're hungry. I don't know what to do to make this better, but I'm tired of going through this cycle of you getting angry for hours, me avoiding you for hours. Then I say something that upsets you, then you get pouty. I don't know what to do. He said, You're talking about cycles? Just get out of my face. And he's all curled up in his blankets. I feel like I'm always pushing my feelings aside to cater to his. And when I've said that to him, he responds with, Great. You're putting it back on me. It's my fault again. Everything is always my fault. I'm tired. I'm tired too, girl. Like literally tired. I just want to go to bed, but he wants me to avoid him. And if I go, goodness, if I go in there, he'll leave bed to sleep on the recliner and then complain about how he didn't sleep good and had a crappy day. We always do this song and dance. Like a few years ago, we just yell at each other and keep fighting, and it was as we were falling asleep. So I'd be in bed trying to fall asleep, and we can't sleep until we talked it through because you're not supposed to go to bed mad, but we'd be awake until like 2 a.m. I've begged him to go to therapy. I go to therapy. I've been in therapy. I really thought he was close to going after his dad died, but nope. I used to write him emails when he was mad so he could read my apologies, but he never did. I used to talk to my mom about it, then he'd get mad at me for talking to my mom about us. It should be private, but therapy isn't private enough because a therapist is a stranger. I really don't think there's anything left to do on my end. I feel like I've exhausted all avenues, so I'm looking for advice. What can I improve on? Any advice on convincing him to go to therapy? I love him a lot. This is the only thing that drives me crazy. This is where we're most dysfunctional, and it doesn't happen a lot, but like over spilled chili, today was my breaking point. I have to get people involved. Yeah, that was a whole lot of mess. I'm exhausted for her, and I've read 7 minutes of her life. I mean, 7 minutes of this post, and I don't know how people do it. This is so draining. You cannot convince me that being single and having a pet is not better than this. This nothing. This is not better than anything. This relationship, I would rather sleep and vomit than to deal with somebody like this. I would rather go to sleep every day for a whole week and vomit than to deal with somebody like this. There is nothing that this person could do to make this man get out of this cycle. This man, no, no. You, thinking about being like this forever, being married to somebody, growing old with somebody like this is an absolute no. Absolutely not. And this has been so long. The only comment that I'm gonna go over with y'all is this one. Pom Pom Grenade says, "You are tired of the abuse? Good. Time to leave. As long as you stay, you allow him to continue to emotionally torment you. None of that interaction is healthy or normal. He gets off on terrorizing you. He will not go to therapy because he enjoys what he has going on here." And then then this person recommends the book, Why Does He Do That? I've seen that recommendation quite a bit. I have not yet read the book, but I assume it must be good because I see it all the time. So you guys go ahead and check out that book. I did a quick check. This woman is making comments, and it looks like she did do an edit, and she speaks a little bit more about the situation and the outcome the next day. I am not going to get into that today. I will do an update maybe tomorrow because y'all, I need some coffee after reading this because it drained me. So I cannot express how terrible and unhealthy this type of relationship is. And nobody should subject themselves to this type of relationship till death do you part. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You guys go ahead and jump in the comment section and let me know what you think. Like, comment, share.